welcome to Manage Your Money. This is the show where we talk about financial planning, how to make your money work for you so that your future is secure financially. This is the show where we discuss how to make your financial resources work for you, how to channelize them so that you can achieve your goals in the future, be it buying a car for yourself, buying a home, a retirement fund, all of those goals and how to achieve them. This is the show that we discuss all those goals and how to get there. Let's introduce our guest. We have with us Gaurav Mashruwala. He's a financial planner. He's joining us from Mumbai. He will advise us on how to do financial planning. He'll also give advice to two of our participants who have some queries on financial planning. We have with us in our studios Upasna Lal. She's a French tutor. She takes French classes. And we also have Sukhvinder Singh. He's a designer and he has a very variable income. So he wants to know, can he really do financial planning on a regular basis, how to work around all the variability in his income and come up with a foolproof plan. I spent a day with Upasna to see how she manages her home-life balance. Take a look.
Upasna Lal worked as a teacher in Surat for nearly 9 years, with a supportive family taking care of her young son when she was away in school. But after the birth of her daughter and transfer of her husband to Delhi, she quit her job. But not teaching. She now gives French lessons from her home.
Earlier I was teaching in a school. I had been working since last 8 to 9 years, but after the birth of my daughter, I just stopped working and I have started with the tuitions right now.
What do? We put the
Upasna is glad that she is a satisfied professional and enjoys helping her students excel at French. Good education of her children is her immediate priority, and the Lal family has been saving to create an education fund.
I feel I am happy this way because the thing is that I am able to take care of my children. I am able to even look after my house. My children are growing, so right now main the fund I'll require for their further education. As my son is going into class 11th and after a year or two he'll be joining the higher education, he'll be joining a college. So right now we are main focus towards their education.
While it seems that giving classes from home is easy, Upasna has had to employ additional domestic help so that she can devote time to her family and her classes.
I feel I'm more happy because they also need time. Right now my son is in class 10th, so the main focus will be his 11th, 12th. So I feel I should give more time towards them.
Demands from children and high inflation keep the family budget tight, but savings is a habit that Upasna is proud of, and striking a balance comes naturally to her.
So you just saw how Upasna spends her day, how she manages her work-life balance. What's your question, Upasna?
Yeah, hi Gaurav. I have sent you my details. So I would like you to pose a question regarding right now my children's education is the main goal. So what are your advices?
Okay, Upasna, here one is I really appreciate the way you've been balancing the work, the career and the family, and I mean it's a kind of example to many other watching people that this can be done. It's not that one has to compromise over the others, and also taking additional domestic help to ensure that things are more smoother. It's a brilliant way of doing, so congratulations on that. In terms of advice, while yes, your main concern is education, there are a few other aspects which you may also want to look into, because unless those are not looked into, the advice that I would give would remain a little bit fractured. So I'll kind of go through that. Just few observations that I have, Upasna. One is that there is certain amount of money lying idle in bank or savings account FD, and it's not yielding the kind of returns it should. So I will talk about how you should utilize that for your son's education. You've been living within means, and your saving habit which was mentioned is brilliant, because that's what is able to kind of balance both without just running after the career. Another concern that I have is health insurance, and that's what I'm not very happy about. And here is my request to all the viewers that please don't compromise on the health issues and health insurance, because The cost of health treatment is going up in the country with new developments, new technology. There are certain things which are going up, and I have faced so many families where once there is somebody in the hospital, apart from the anxiety about the near and dear ones, there is also anxiety ke paise kahan se aayenge, and that's the last thing that we want. So Upasna, apart from a lot of money lying idle in savings bank accounts or contingency fund, we have been saying on this show, under normal circumstances 3 months reserve. In your case, since it's more, I'll just tell you how that can be utilized for your son's education. But before that, your priority should be to have health insurance for the family at the earliest, number one. Number two, now you're not only a homemaker, but you're also earning member, and that's what we were discussing yesterday. And we have been saying on this show that if a housewife or a homemaker or wife is also earning and family is financially dependent, she needs life insurance, because any eventuality to you will also have impact on family's finances, and hence you need to have a health life cover for yourself. Now I will come to your requirement of education, your son's education. Believe me, you are fine. What you want to do is, since your son is an older son out of the 2 children that you have, and his money requirement is earlier from the existing money that you have in savings bank and fixed deposit, transfer that money into a kind of fixed deposit linked to savings bank account, because your requirement is going to come into 1 or 2 years. So what you need is a debt based instrument, and a fixed deposit is a debt instrument. So for your son's education, transfer this money into an FD linked to savings bank account. You may also want to consider a debt fund, but the returns are not assured, and the tax implications on both are same. So if you do an FD and just kind of mentally earmark it for your son's education, you should be fine. For your daughter's education, she is young and you have easily 7 to 8 years left. You may want to start a systematic investment plan into a mutual fund scheme where there is an equity component, because if you put all that money into a debt instrument, then you will lose to inflation. Most debt instruments lose to inflation, so the returns that you would get will be much lesser compared to the cost of education going up, and hence put that money, start an SIP into an equity based mutual fund and keep doing it. Only thing is, keep in mind that a year prior to it requirement, you shift that money into a debt instrument. We also look at marriage of a children, start another SIP and you will be able to do it, or once his education needs are taken care of, put money into an equity fund as well as put money into a gold fund, because gold is something that we utilize in a marriage. So, and create a corpus, and based on requirement for both the children, use that money and last retirement. So again, an equity fund, but also continue contribution to provident fund. So don't just look at son's education, look at comprehensively contingency, excess money line, pick up health insurance, have a life insurance for yourself. And I did speak to you about all 3 aspects as far as your son and daughter Anushri's education is concerned, your life in your marriage of their, and your retirement.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav.
I
just want to ask a question like, do I need a health cover if my husband's company covers our health expenses even of post-retirement also? So do I need health insurance?
Okay, so since I didn't have the exhaustive detail about the husband, so there was some mention. You need to check that if the cover is sufficient, because again, cities like Delhi, the healthcare costs are more, and healthcare costs keeps going up. So if that cover is sufficient for all the members of the family, then don't pick it up. But if it's not, and lot many times it may not be, then you may want to have an independent cover, number one. Number two, once he retires, while you said that the cover may continue post-retirement, but then the cover to some extent will get stagnated, as in sum assured will not go up. And hence you may want to kind of top it up with some other parallel plan, so that once he retires, well, that sum assured will not go up, but you have additional cover available, so that after retirement, when there is more need for health cover, you have enough protection available, because once you cross 60, getting health insurance is expensive, and that's when you need it most. So you may want to kind of look at that and develop an optimum strategy for you.
Right, Gaurav, you've mentioned as advice to Upasna that she should also think about investing in gold fund for her daughter's marriage. Can you tell us what is the gold fund?
Sure. What happens is that most of us end up buying physical gold in terms of coins and jewelry. And then obviously if it comes to liquidating, we are reluctant, and rightly so, as in a childhood upbringing, Lakshmi, and we don't want to touch upon that. When it comes to gold funds, there are two options, there are two variants. One is gold ETF, exchange traded funds. When you put money into these, you can do it through a stockbroker or online broking. Actually, physical gold is bought. Entire money is invested in physical gold. There are custodians. These are regulated by SEBI, and there is gold which is there. The price movement is based on the price movement of gold in the market. What will happen is, if when you need money for, in this case, daughter's marriage, you won't be reluctant to liquidate that and then get cash out of it and make either jewelry or give physical gold. A gold mutual fund is basically you give money to a mutual fund. It's like any other mutual fund schemes, and that money is invested into gold ETF. So in case you don't want to go and open a demat account, or you want to do an SIP and your broker is not kind of supporting because the SIP amount could be 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, it's too small a deal, then you may want to go and do a gold mutual fund, which is like any mutual fund scheme, an open-ended scheme. So take a pick, but here it's more from investment perspective. It's not a physical gold that you're buying.
What are the risks attached to gold fund vis-a-vis buying gold? Value of gold fund may go down, but I can give my daughter jewelry during marriage even if I have bought at higher cost. So what would you say?
I respect that, and those are kind of emotional issues that do come up. End of the day, your point valid taken, that you buy gold and if price go up or go down, that's not going to affect when you make a jewelry out of it. It's a tricky situation, because what happens, and nowadays I see a lot of women kind of, apart from gold, they want jewelry or something else. So once you buy a gold, the jewelry will be of gold only and there is nothing else. Also, in case there are some other requirements, you won't be able to maneuver that. If you are so certain that it will be only gold, you may want to pick it up, but I would still recommend, she's not even in teens, she's young, and marriage is pretty far off. And hence, get into this gold kind of fun kind of situation. You may want to balance it out. Pick up a little bit of physical gold and pick up these fund, and then nearer to marriage start taking call. But just don't go aggressive on gold, because suppose for some reason she says, I don't want jewelry, I need money to set up my career or whatever, you will be reluctant to liquidate. There will be more of an emotional blockage that comes in. But if you're saying that won't be, pick up physical, that's perfectly all right.
So Upasna, I hope all of your questions have been answered by Gaurav. He's given very comprehensive advice. We'll slip into a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Sukhwinder on what his goals are and what he should do to get there.